Hey everybody, we are back and we're going to do some work on the foundation plan. So what I'm looking at is in the drawing, or all the sheets there. Right here is our foundation plan. We're going to add a few more components and then even start doing some of the detail work around here. Now, there's a few things that we can't quite do yet, or we're just not going to do yet, like window tags and this section view symbol, right? The one that stays for final documentation. But I'd say like 90% of this we're going to get done here in the next couple minutes. So let me slide this back out of the way so I can see it on my other screen. And we will go down into house footing bottom is the view we want to be in. And that is just so that way we can see our footings right away and have that part of this view. All right, first thing we're going to do is actually add the 4 windows that need to go into our basement. So we're going to go to the window tool. Okay, it's very easy to accidentally go back to components, but when it comes to doors and windows, you have to use those tools specifically. So window tool, you're going to navigate, you're going to load a family, and you're going to navigate to the cabin components, and we are looking for the transom with trim. So these narrow, skinny little windows are called transom windows. And right there it is, transom with trim. Go ahead and double click that to open it. And then choose the 24 by 12 option. 24 by 12 option. We want to set our sill height to 6'6". Okay, so right there, make sure that says 6'6". And once we're done getting what we want, choosing the size and the location we want it for this window or the sill height, we're then just going to go over here and left click to place the windows. And well, that's weird. We can't see the window. So I'm going to hit escape a couple times after placing one. It's still there. Okay, don't undo. It's still there. We just need to adjust how we see this view. Right now we're just seeing 4 feet above the very bottom of the house. So about 4 feet up is where this floor plan is being sliced. So let me actually just jump over to here. About 4 feet up, it just happens to be about this line. I don't know if it's exact. But we're slicing the floor plan right here, and therefore we can't see windows that are up higher. So what we have to do is adjust where we are slicing this footing view. Okay, also I'm going to go back to that house footing bottom view, or maybe you're still there, and with nothing selected, our properties on the left are about the view. So if I go down here about halfway, there's a view range option with edit button. So click on that edit button and adjust the cut plane to 7'6". 7 space 6, enter. And sure enough, there is our window. So what we just did was raise how high we're cutting this view at. And you can tell on the stairs actually, that little break symbol used to be way down here. But as we raised it up, it goes higher on the stairs now. So now we can see our window. I'm going to go back into the window tool. Just double check that we have the same window selected and go ahead and place my other 3 windows. And the glass should be closer to the outside. If you accidentally have the glass towards the inside, not a big deal. Right? We have our flip-flop arrows, we can change it around. We want the glass towards the outside. Alright, that being said, the drawing tells me that the window should be 3 feet away from the corners. So dimension tool, outside of concrete wall, edge of window, a little different on the concrete. When it comes to concrete, we measure to the edges of openings. Change that to 3, enter. And at this point, you really could just start putting in all the dimensions that we're going to need. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, and that'll actually work. Probably going to get that 3-foot dimension put on all my windows first, just so I know they're all at the right size. In fact, I could even do that other opening. Escape, highlight the window, go in there and change my dimension. What's always tricky is that when you click on the window or any item in particular, you have to know what are temporary dimensions that pop up and which ones are the permanent ones that we're working with. And I'm sure you're getting some experience with that. And of course, you can lock them so nothing moves. Click off, new dimension, top of the foundation wall, edge of the opening, edge of the window, escape, highlight, click, 3, enter. One more time. Highlight. There we go. And lock, which I forgot to do on that top one. No biggie, go back, get that done. And I can also put in the dimensions between there. So inside edge of window, inside edge of window, line it up with my other dimensions. Looks good. Do the other side. Inside edge, align it, escape. Looks good. Just 2 more dimensions we really need here, a couple of overalls. So zoom in, that side of the foundation, that side of the foundation, then out there, and then this side of the foundation to this side to show the overall width in this direction. And place it, escape a few times. Now you'll notice none of the dimensions go to the footing. The footing, that's this little area around the wall, right? This is our main foundation wall, which, by the way, has no symbols in it. It's kind of interesting. So if I look down on the corner, just double checking, the scale is correct, but I do have my detail level set to coarse. So I'm going to jump that up to fine. There we go. There's more of our concrete symbols going on. And I am going to leave it just black and white because that's more of a traditional drawing versus shaded. Well, my dimension I think moved here on me a little bit. I thought it was aligned, but if not, very easy to go back and fix. There we go. And I probably just had them aligned with the top or bottom dimensions. There we go. Spaced properly. I'll have to see when I come back if I do that window tag, if there's not enough room for the symbol. I may have to move these out a little bit, but main thing, reference lines or extension lines are all lined up here. Of course, this is just lined up with the other edge. No double lines, and looks pretty good. So that takes care of the windows here. Now in the drawing, I see that I also have a freezer, a furnace, and a water heater. So just kind of some typical components that might be in a basement. So just a little more practice at putting stuff in. So just kind of those everyday objects are just under the regular component tool. Load family, cabin components. I'm going to go down here and look for a freezer. There it is, freezer chest. Double click it. Alright, and you can kind of pick where you want your freezer to go. I'm just going to say near the bottom of the stairs. I guess I could probably go a little closer to the wall. There we are. Back to component, load family. I'm going to find a furnace. Double click. And in the drawing, I know I have it more in this area, but it doesn't really matter right now. This is more a little more practice on where tools go. The reality on furnace is you'd put this as perfectly in the center of a building as you could. However, structures, stairs, support, it just doesn't always work out that way. Maybe in this cabin, I could put it somewhat center or down. I'm not going to worry if you have it down here as well. Maybe I'll try something a little different and put it up here, so it is a little bit more centered, a little closer to those bedrooms that you'd want to keep warm. Usually, kitchens and living rooms tend to keep themselves warm, especially when the living room has a fireplace in that upper corner, a little wood stove. And then anyway, go back, component, one more thing, load family, and let's get the water heater. There it is, double click. And this that looks pretty tiny, so let's double check if there's other sizes available. And there's not at the moment, so I want to put that here. And actually, this might kind of go centered on this wall, because that way it's close to both the bathrooms and the kitchens. And once I have it in there, I can single click on it, edit type, and diameter. Usually it's more like 2.5 feet is the diameter of a water heater. There we go. 2 feet to 2.5 feet. They do come in different sizes, depending on how many gallons you want for your house. That's a whole different topic of discussion. Okay. Go back to 3D view. Just curious, roll this over. And sure enough, that's what little experience has taught me is that all those components, because we put them in at the footing level, they're all level with the footing. So what I'm going to do is click on one, left click on one, hold Control, click on the other two, and I should be able to change all their level constraints at one time. We're actually going to put it to the basement floor. Apply, they disappear. They're not really gone, they've just moved up above the floor now, where they should be. So pretty easy tweak. I go back into here. Doesn't even look like anything changed because they're just coming straight up at us. But the reality is in that 3D view, or if I would put a section view, I can move this one right here. Double click, click off, then double click. There we go. We can see furnace, water heater are now on the basement floor. In fact, this one must have a grill or something that hangs down in there a little bit. Because it says right there it's all 0, 0. Must be something to do with the model and why it's like that. So, all right. That pretty much wraps up that basement plan. It wasn't too much to actually finalize that. A couple of components. If I do want the label for furnace, our last little thing, I would just go in and grab Annotate tab, or go to the Annotate tab and grab that text tool. And then I could add any text I'd want in there at this point. Turn my cap locks on, furnace. There we go, click off, escape a couple times, highlight that text, and change the font. I don't know if we've done any font changes before this one. We can even put the label right outside for now, but essentially font is just like anything else. I would highlight it, I would go to edit type, I would duplicate, and I would say, you know what, I want maybe 2/30 seconds Arial, which also just happens to be 1/16. 1/16 Arial, and then I just actually make sure I change the size then to what I'm saying it's going to be. 1/16 inch symbol, enter, and click OK. And there we go. Oops. Grab it by that little 4-way arrow and drag it in there, and that's how we modify our text to whatever sizes we need as well. So very much the same as every other tool or every other kind of component. You duplicate it, you adjust it what you want it to be, and then use it. So, all right, I think that takes care of our basement plan at the moment. How to get those windows in so you can see them. That's a big thing, and they should be just skinny little windows at the top of our basement walls on 2 sides. And if all's good, then I'll see you in the next video.